We're live from Houston, Texas. Welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting, and today's topic is about can I apply for green card through my church? And the answer is yes, of course, you can. It is possible. Now, the thing is, of course, why are we even discussing it in the first place? Is that most people assume that you have to be some kind of like pastor or the leader of the don't want to just say church, but any religious institution through a temple or any other religious institution. So here's the thing though. There is scrutiny, of course. The USCIS is not just going to assume that your employer is a legitimate nonprofit through a church exemption. So that's why it's still important to it's still important for USCIS, for the government to verify that. Okay, so they do have on-site locations, on-site inspections. So that's very important for you to know. Now, welcome to the show. And also, if you have any questions in general, happy to answer it for you. Now, let's see. And if you're new to the channel, greencardguys.tv, welcome. Follow us and also subscribe if you're on YouTube. And let's see here. We do offer free 15 minutes. So if for some reason I'm not able to get to you today or you're watching this later, welcome to go to our website, greencardguys.com. And I'll share with you the secret code towards the end of the show. Now I'll try to stay on for about 30 minutes. I do have to cut out in 2 minutes just to turn off the stove real quick. But this is the house studio. Let's see here. So number one thing is it has to be, I know there's some entities out there that try to be their own church organization or try to act like their own church or religion. I've heard that they're like, I don't know, create like randomly created religions, not trying to judge or anything, but you have to be registered, filed as a nonprofit religious organization in the US for you to even think about applying for R1 visa. So yes, you can get a non-immigrant visa first and then come to the US with R1 visa, or or you can apply straight for the residency. Okay. But for residency, you do have to show that you've been working with that religion. It doesn't have to be the same church or same religious organization. You have to show that you have been working at least 2 years. Okay. And that same very similar religion. So not saying that it can be like you convert from a different religion, but let's say just for example, from a different specific denomination, that's okay. Do have to show how it's related. All right. So if you have any questions about this on, just like any other case type, the government can, because most people think that, well, marriage cases get scrutinized a lot. Well, so do R1. Okay. Or other cases, EB-5 investor visas. They want to make sure that the money is coming through the appropriate source. And so how does it work? So in America, non-immigrant visas, the default is that most of these non-immigrant visas, there's it doesn't allow you to have dual intent. All right. So, but this one, so for example, TN visa for Mexicans and Canadian nationals do not allow for dual intent. And dual intent means that you cannot be, if you are here with the non-immigrant visa, that you can't apply for residency. But this one, you can. You can be here on R1 visa and then also apply for residency to the same religious entity. Okay, so when you apply for residency through a religious organization, it doesn't go through the typical like EB1, EB2, EB3. It's EB4. Okay. Let's see here. And it can also include your family members, your spouse, and unmarried children under 21. So keep in mind, this is kind of similar to how a lot of folks people who have H-1B and their children are about to age out. They can't have H-4 dependent visa anymore. So this is also, of course, a concern for people with any other type of non-immigrant visa like the R1 visa. Okay, so let's see here. Let me see what I can share with you on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the visa bulletin as well, so you have an idea more about timing, and then I'll get to answer any questions. Sorry, I was out for the last couple days because my little one was sick, so had to not go live. So here we go. Let me share my screen on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, it's a little small. Let me enlarge that up. Enlarge that. Okay, so EB4 includes religious workers. And EB4 is important. It's a category for residency. Uh, it's important because after the petition has been filed and approved, what's the next step, John? The next step is waiting for the visa bulletin because you might not be available, have eligible to go to the next step until the prior date reaches on the visa bulletin. So it should show on YouTube. Okay, there we go. So the current one is December 2022. Okay, today is December 7th. If you scroll down, the first section is family based. You scroll down all the way down to employment based. You can see EB4 just says certain special immigrants, and that's because it includes like Afghani, Iraqi interpreters, VAWA applicants as well. So scroll down, skip this first box because that's the final action. Go to chart B, and EB4 is right here. So for anyone under, not China, not El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, or India, or Mexico, or the Philippines, then it would be this left column. Okay, so for those on Instagram, I'm looking at the visa bulletin, and right now it shows a prior date of July 22nd, 2022. So that's great. It's still within the same year. So what does that mean? This is similar to family-based cases where if the prior date shows up on visa bulletin, then you can take the next step. And if you're in America right now with the R1 visa currently that's valid, then you can go ahead and apply for the 485 application adjustment of status. But if you're abroad outside America, then it's for consular processing. Okay, so the similar outcome, and that's for the resident card. Okay, for legal permanent resident status. Now here's the deal: we don't want to forget about this step because a lot of people call in and say, "Hey, John, my case is taking forever. How come the government hasn't sent me anything?" Well, they should have in general for the NVC welcome letter by email these days. So, but if you have not received it for any reason, don't assume that you should still wait for the government. You really need to be on top of your case, and that's why I'm not saying that just because you filed the R1 petition 129 form, like 2 weeks ago, that doesn't mean the government's going to update you 2 weeks from now, right? So, but you do need to check in at least every 6 months, okay? And that's what we do at Ting Law Group. We provide a free guide that even if for some reason you can't, you don't want to hire a lawyer, but in this situation, this is a religious organization. I really suggest that you come up with the funds to at least, number one, have a consultation, especially when your church, your religious organization, has to go through an on-site process, okay, to go through the scrutiny. So it can seem like other church members or other church or religious workers in your entity, they could be like, well, why is the U.S. government personnel here? And aside from that's a tough thing about politics. Just because you have practiced the same faith, that doesn't mean you have the same political ideology, political platform that you agree with. So, well, we can make assumptions and judgments, but we shouldn't do that on this channel. So, anyways, this is what it looks like on YouTube and Facebook. So, switching over here. And so this is what you should know about eligibility, okay? You have to worked, you have to be still employed as a what quote unquote religious worker. Again, it does not, if you're just joining the channel, it does not have to be a pastor or leader type position, okay? It can be other personnel, okay? So, but the key thing is it has to further the religious training or sabbatical, okay? There can be an assumption that, you can't just say this person's in marketing department, but, you don't explain how it's relevant to furthering the religious faith or training. So that's the key. That's one example of why having a lawyer, a law firm, help you on this, so that you can make that key distinction for USCIS. So hopefully that helps. Let's see what else. I'm going to answer some questions now, but this is just a quick overview so you have an idea. I need to turn off the oven real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I made it. The kitchen is good. All is good. All right. It was not the oven. It was a stovetop. Ovens can be turned off electronically these days, apparently. All right. So to answer some questions. All right. Rodimus77. Anything can be done with false claim citizenship. There's very limited exception. If I can recall, it's something to do about, you do need to consult with a lawyer, of course, one-on-one. But if I can recall, it has to be when the exemption or exception is when if you were a child and under either 14 or 16 years old and you didn't know about it. Okay. Like, for example, like a DACA type situation. If you're, if you're brought into the US at a young age and let's say your parents always told you that you're a US citizen. So many people don't have that kind of scenario. But hopefully you can get out of that situation. Okay. But I would still speak with a lawyer to make sure that you qualify for that exemption. Again, it's very limited facts. And yeah, we did have an example, not example. We had a client before where they didn't claim to be a citizen, but they registered a vote, which the government would argue, of course, that is considered as claiming to be a U.S. citizen. He never proactively said he's a U.S. citizen. He never actually voted in a federal or local election. But the USCIS officer, when he applied to actually become a U.S. citizen, the officer, denied him. So that's when he came to us. And so I come to find that when people find our channels or find about a Ting Law Group, or myself or one of our attorneys, we're really solving problems. So if you're new to the channel, please follow and subscribe, whichever platform of your choice. We're here to just share these problems so that hopefully you can really prevent it from happening in your own case. So our mentality could be similar to yours. We don't take no for an answer. So we help this client, advise this client, go to your county registrar office, okay, where they do this, elections office, for example, and get some information, get a document to show that you never actually voted. And of course, when he went there, he didn't. The person he spoke with, I guess, the supervisor, said, "Oh, there's not a document we can like normally give out." So that's why I told him, get something. Don't take no for an answer. Of course, kindly, don't be rude, but we have to get something. So I said, get a screenshot of whatever it shows on a computer. So it's not typically a document they print, but you certainly could get a freaking screenshot, right? Right. So that's what we take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer. Okay, folks, you really got to fight for your status. And sure enough, it was able to work out. We were able to appeal, got him approved. So long story short, that's what happened. But to give you an idea, sorry, I went on a slight tangent here, but why he even registered in the first place is not because he really wanted to. He went to renew his driver license, and the Department of Public Safety, or DMV clerk, asked him if he wanted to register. So I can slightly understand if you're not a U.S. citizen and you don't know the laws around it, and a government type official encourages you or asks you to do that, I try to put myself in their shoes. Maybe I would have registered. I don't know, but I certainly would not have voted. But sometimes when it's presented to you that way, one would think, okay, yeah, I guess it's okay for me to register. So good. Thankfully, he never actually voted, and it worked out. So back to Rodimus. Hopefully, you didn't have that. Hopefully, you didn't have that actual situation where you actually voted, and you still have a chance. Okay. So just want to share a success story with our law firm on how we can still. We'll switch back over to YouTube. I see a question from Beto's Tacos. What's going on? Oh my goodness, sorry to hear that. Beto's Tacos says he or she was a victim of a crime. Police have not captured the guy who assaulted that person. Can you qualify for a U visa? Thank you so much for everything you do. Yeah, happy to help. Absolutely. Just point you in the right direction if anything. Even though police or law enforcement may not have caught the guy yet, the fact that you are cooperating. So cooperating with law enforcement is not just waiting. You need to give them a call every once in a while, maybe every couple of weeks. There's no set number, right? But you want to show them that you want to help find information. So Beto's Tacos, for example, if you were on, it sounded like you were, I see tacos. So I'm thinking you were at work when this happened, but wherever it happened, if there were cameras possibly located, or if there was a store nearby, ask that store manager or anyone at that store working if they have any cameras that could capture that situation. So hopefully it wasn't too long ago that the store or any location parking lot has that kind of video. But keep in mind, these stores in general, they don't have like a big storage, right? So you have to take action soon because data gets erased. They get re-saved and erased. So hopefully that gives you an idea. But yeah, but let's say they caught the guy or the person, and you could have, for some reason, police don't want to sign. Maybe the case is very old. Then, and if this person was caught and prosecuted, then you could get a judge to sign it. But even if not prosecuted, but it was still pending, the case is pending with the county criminal court, then you can ask the district attorney to sign. And what I mean by sign is a 918B certification form. Okay, so there's a lot of hot tips right here about this U visa type case that we're of course happy to share more. There's where we handle these kind of cases, but the crime of assault definitely does count for a qualifying crime for U visa. Which, by the way, one of our colleagues just shared with us that he had a case that was filed in 2016 for U visa, and it finally got approved. So yeah, generally it takes, unfortunately, at least 5 years after you file the case. Okay. Marlon, let's see your question, Marlon. Appreciate you following our channel. Is it important to receive a hard copy of receipt notice from USCIS? Should you worry since they only sent you an email notice for the first receipt 797C when 2 petitions were filed? Oh, okay. So it sounds like you filed online. I don't recall if we filed 2 online, like for the same client or same petitioner. It should be 1 separate receipt notice for each beneficiary. So if you sent 2 or you filed 2 online, yeah, it should be 2 separate ones. So check that out. It really should be 2 separate cases and 2 separate receipt numbers. So hopefully that helps, Marlon. Okay, let's see. Okay, back to Instagram. By the way, if you're new to our channel, we do have free consults, 15 minutes, but I hate to say it, but maybe next week first you have to qualify for it. Okay. Go to our website, greencardguys.com, and click on the contact us page. Okay. I'm showing you how to do it on YouTube. Go to our website, greencardguys.com, click on take a quiz or contact us, and you can see if you qualify for a free 15 minutes. Okay. So not everyone does, unfortunately, because we just have a lot of people that call, and I greatly appreciate it that we that y'all trust us to try to point you in the right direction. Now, on that note, if for some reason you don't have the time right now, but you want some information, you can still go to our website, click on the go all the way down on our website, scroll down, and we have free guides, PDFs that contain common answers to questions, or common question answers to common questions. Download that guide, and hopefully that can give you some information in the meantime until you can figure out your schedule and can chat with us. All right. Let's see here. There's another question here. Sorry about my cough. Absolutely. Happy to help you, Rodimus. I see a live request. Okay, Juan Moreno. Wasima, I see your question. Thanks for the questions. Let's see. What Wasima? Thanks for joining live or wanting to join in the video. Unfortunately, I have to get off in 2 minutes. I have another meeting. But next time when it's closer to the beginning of the show. What are the consequences if one is out of status and working on a social security number? Ooh. I hope it's your own social. If I recall, Rasima, that you do have some kind of not residency, a work permit. So, but if you don't have a work permit and you didn't get a social security number, like a valid one in your own name, then I'm very concerned. You don't want to use a fake or someone else's social security number. Okay. I would just stop doing that, assuming that's what you're asking. I would not admit that online right now, but in case you are, because I know there are a lot of people that do that, unfortunately, please be very careful. Sometimes in court, the Department of Homeland Security attorneys, I recall that one new client I had at the time, they had said that happened in court with their prior lawyer. So just imagine that. Just think that the government lawyers, the government agencies, they can get any document they want. They can find out, or they're just messing with us, and ask that question. But I would just be very careful of that. But in general, I don't see, if you're not in court proceedings, I don't see how the government could find out. But you just want to be very careful. Okay, Juan Moreno, what's going on, sir? Oh, you got robbed at gunpoint and the video ended everything. Oh, you got the video. Okay, good. That's where I used to work like 5 years ago. I know the robbers got caught. Okay. Well, we need to chat about that, Juan. If you're still on, I'm going to ask Jessica to give you a call about that. Maybe we can, if this is the Juan Moreno I know, we'll give you a call. Sorry if we did not ask you about that before, okay? But it's been been 5 years. Then usually when it's a long time like that, the police might not sign it. But if the robbers were caught, then maybe the district attorney's office or a judge, a criminal court judge, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the judge that presided over the case. It can be a different judge. Okay, as long as they see the case history. And again, that's another reason why you would want to hire a lawyer, is because these judges, like anytime I present stuff, this kind of certification form to a judge, we present like how to do this. Why signing this form does not mean it's granting you the visa. Because I've received that information before where like the law enforcement will say, am I even allowed to do this? Like, yes, you are allowed to do it. And people think that some people have thought that signing it itself like gives you the visa, which if that was the case, great. Why are you even hesitating? But anyways, but when you speak to police about this, not any police officer can sign it. Actually, it has to be someone who's vetted by the USCIS somehow, or at least designated to be the certifying officer. Okay, so it can't just be the person that shows up to the scene of the crime, basically, or the incident. Wasima, you asked another question on Instagram. Can two petitions be filed, asylum and T visa? Okay, if I recall, maybe that's what you filed a long time ago, asylum. Yes, you can file for T visa. If you think you qualify for that, um, give us a call, okay? Schedule an appointment and we'll verify it for you. T visa is similar to U visa in that you need to have that another certification form signed. It is different though, fortunately. You don't have a work permit, but you got a social number. Okay, let's probably not chat about that anymore. Well, that's strange. I thought you did file an asylum application, but yeah, give our team a call and we'll chat about it. Okay. Let's see. I think that's all for the questions online. I mean, on Instagram. Let me see. On YouTube. Okay, Marlon, you said that when you call the USCIS, you got two separate numbers, but they only acknowledged one when they sent the receipt notice online. Should I request a hard copy? So actually, yes, you might as well. Since you do have the other receipt number, you can go to the US. Let me see if we can find it online here. Okay, you're going to the USCIS website. Okay, I'm sharing my screen so you can have a better view. It's kind of large, so okay, there we go. So on the USCIS website, I'm showing YouTube and Facebook. You go click on Tools, go to Tools and Resources, and then let's see here. Click on inquiry. Somewhere says e-request. Okay, Marlon. Oh, well, that's not cool. It shows a error, but okay. I'm gonna put this in the comment section on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, so you can see where to get to. But you want to click on when you get to this page. Click on e-request. Some reason it's not working right now. Go figure. Government website not working. But when you have a chance, click on that e-request, and it should have an option like 5 different boxes or something like that. And you pick the one that says you want a copy of your notice, receipt notice, and you give them a little description what happened that you filed online. You didn't get the notice for that one. I wouldn't confuse them in terms of probably not even talk to them about your other one that you got a receipt notice. It's probably no sense in that. It might confuse them actually. So just give them the receipt number that you did not get the receipt notice, okay, as an attachment. Hopefully that helps, Marlon. All right, let's see. Next question on YouTube. Hey, how about you, Visa? So please don't find that person assaulting me. Will you be eligible? You can. I mean, even if the police don't find the perpetrator, it's possible they will still sign it. Now, I have better success with it depends on jurisdiction, but I have better success with the sheriff department signing it with less hesitancy. But again, it just depends on jurisdiction. Whoever's I guess you could say, patrolling or control the area. Because I mean, every state, every local area is different. But it doesn't to sign the U visa certification form in the perspective of law enforcement. It does not require that they catch the perpetrator. So, and again, this is why it's important to have a lawyer so that we can explain these type of things to whoever's supposed to sign it. Let's see here. So don't give up. We had a success story that we had. I'm turning away, but I realized I got a mic right here on my shirt. Success story. I believe it was out of Denver area, Colorado, and the person had a prior lawyer. We helped this person through removal proceedings, deportation court, and the prior lawyer, like 5 years before, was told by the client about this situation where he was a victim of a crime, and apparently, allegedly, the lawyer asked the district attorney if they would sign off on it. The DA said no because this client had his own crimes. So understandable, but you have options. You don't give up. We don't give up at T Law Group or Green Card Guys, okay? We talk to law enforcement. Check online where there are news releases. That helps strengthen the case. If there's a news release, it's certainly important to the public. So if it was important to the public, at least a news station, to release this information, and not just a news station, but if the law enforcement agency published it also, even stronger. It's clear that they want to notify the public about this. And with Twitter these days, it's, I hate to guarantee, but there's probably some kind of news source, possibly about your case. Depends on the situation. Of course, if it was like petty theft, then it probably wouldn't even qualify for U visa anyway. But hopefully that helps. Don't give up. There's other ways. It's not just depending on one entity to sign this certification form. Okay, I think I answered your question. Yes, I did. I think so. Let me know, MB. So in terms of eligibility, it could be a bunch of different things and not just about the form itself, but that is important. Which, hot tip, folks, when you finally get that form signed, it's like the golden ticket because you have to have it, but don't wait more than 6 months to file your case. In fact, because you have to have, it needs to be valid for at least 6 months. From what I recall, at least by the time USCIS receives it and starts the process. Okay. So if, let's say it's January 1st is when you got the form signed, and now it's like 5 months later. Don't wait until the day before or the week before the 6th month to mail this out. Now, if you have a lawyer, you want to make sure with your lawyer, are you aware of this 6 month? I just want to make sure this is filed. What we do with our team, when we finally get, the first thing we do is request that certification form because it takes a long time. Sometimes law enforcement's quick, sometimes they're very slow. So when we finally get that form signed, we're ready to file your case. We're not going to wait more than a week to mail it to USCIS because these deadlines are crucial to the case. And of course, if we have law enforcement sign it or district attorney or the judge sign it, and then we go back to them again and say, oh, Judge, I'm sorry, the form expired per USCIS rules. Can you sign it again? They're probably going to be annoyed. Okay, so this is one thing. If you're wondering like which lawyer to hire, you want to hire a law firm that's like on top of these type of deadlines. Are they even aware of it? Right? So if you're watching this channel, I'm not expecting you to sign up with us. Like, I'm just here to share information so that you can avoid these problems. We'll be happy to take a look at your case and evaluate it, but there's so many people to help, and we're honored that you're even joining us live. Let me see if any more on that note. Let me see if there's any more questions here. And by the way, of course, I'm here. I don't want to be selfish. I'm here live sharing information. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate the love. But you need to verify who you're talking to, who you're chatting with. Okay. You need to make sure that whoever, assuming you're, contact with a lawyer, a law firm, you want to make sure they're a law firm. So we get calls about like, oh, is this a lawyer? Is this lawyer office? Like what kind of information can I find, or where can I go online to make sure you're a legit lawyer? You're like licensed. We don't take offense to that. I talk to some lawyers and they're like, take offense. I'm like, there's so much information online that of course people have to verify, right? Because you're paying, thousands of dollars. And unfortunately it could get confusing because example is someone DM'd us on, I think, TikTok, and they said that some other entity is trying to approach them, solicited, and asked them to start the EB process for residency, employment-based residency. And that's not allowed. You can't, lawyers know the rules in terms of ethics. We wouldn't just randomly contact someone. You have to contact us first, and then we can reply to you. So if you have someone that's contacting you randomly, that's most likely scamming you. Okay. So you just need to be careful. Okay. If they're like proactively saying, hey, sign up with us. It costs $600. I'm telling you this because we've seen these screenshots from other people that, trust us, and they want to verify if this is even like correct or legit. I know that's strange that we would say they're not legit, but I'm just sharing the state ethics law, or not laws, but the rules that we follow and we're not supposed to contact you directly randomly. Okay. Wasima, sorry, I do have to get off soon, but appreciate your request to join live, but click it next time earlier and I'll definitely let you on. I should be on tomorrow. Just want to answer two more questions. I got to jump off. Sorry, I have a team meeting. Okay, Victor Ortega, your son got a green card for asylum. Congratulations to him. That was granted asylum in 2018. He was told his card had to say he is a resident since 2019, but it says 2021. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, the production side of things for residency green cards, they're a little wonky. There's sometimes they get it wrong, unfortunately. So what I would do, what I recommend, Victor, is to have your son file an I-90 form, and there should be an option that says wrong information, something like that. And you want to give him a copy of the approval letter, because probably the approval letter, the residency card, states the actual issuance date, validity date. So you want to, because even the validity date could be wrong from what it says on the card. Go figure. Kind of crazy. And I-90 takes a long time, unfortunately. These are the type of applications that should be rubber stamped, but probably takes at least 6 months. So do this as soon as possible. I know it's like $595, $600 something dollars for the government mistake. I know it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Let's see. I'm just hitting the way button for y'all. I don't know if it even shows you. Wasima, what are the chances for DREAM Act to come into law? I think it's very slim. And first of all, congratulations to those living in Georgia, the state of Georgia, and Senator Raphael Warnock. Maybe I'm giving away. I'm a Democrat, but Democrats need to do a lot of work. It's not just about immigration. But anyway, I don't think the DREAM Act will pass, even though the Senate is in control of the Democrats, because the House of Representatives has flipped. It is now in control of Republicans. For a law to pass in America, you need both sides to join together to have enough votes so that it can pass to the president's desk for his signature. So that's why laws are very difficult to pass. And anyways, one last question, and I have to jump off. I'm very sorry to my team members. And how long does it take to reopen deportation case with BIA? Makan, if I recall, you had a question similar to this about the matter of SOG or something like that. And I had a chance to look at that more closely, and that is the old law. Okay, that's why the current Attorney General, Merrick Garland, basically changed the directive, changed the order, so to say, give the immigration judges directive to tell them they have authority to close certain cases or even reopen it. Okay, so the reopening part is more so, the default rule in general is that you can only reopen it one time if it's past that deadline. So I'm assuming, Makan, in your situation, it's been past 30 days since the original removal date. So in that case, we call it motion to reopen sua sponte, meaning like spontaneously. I think that's Latin for spontaneous. I could be wrong. I could be making it up. Anyway, but with the prosecutorial discretion guidelines from the Biden administration, DHS, there are opportunities to reopen your case, whether the immigration court level or the BIA level. But they do take a long time because DHS attorneys are not reviewing those type of cases that quickly or that soon, because they're not urgent, right? They're only reviewing cases more rapidly, more soon, if it's a case that's active, meaning there's a court hearing coming up soon. So anyways, hopefully that helps give you some guidance on that, but it's difficult in general, with or without the PD guidelines. It's difficult in general to reopen it for the reason I stated before, but also even with PD, you need to have, it's really strongly recommended you have an immediate relative. So I know not everyone likes this example, but marriage to a U.S. citizen is one example of immediate relative relationship, or adult child over 21 who's a U.S. citizen. Okay, so that's 2 of 3. if it was your parent filing for you, you have to be under 21. All right. So hopefully that helps, folks. Thank you so much. And again, if you have any questions, welcome to go to our website, greencardguys.com, and stay tuned for the next show tomorrow.